Welcome into the I-80 Boys College Football Show. Chris, Texas taking on Texas A&M this weekend. Hell of a rivalry game. We got it back. Year two looks to be promising. I want to know the magical Aggies getting ready to come in here. Down a state trooper. I want to hear about Texas A&M.
Yeah, been a pretty damn good year, honestly. 11-0 on the year, atop the SEC. I'm not even going to talk about the win last week, 48-0 over some can of corn. I don't even know who the hell they played, but they beat the shit out of them. We'll get right into the offense, though, here quickly. I'm telling you, man, Marcel Reed, I think he needs an invitation. I'm telling you, to the Heisman, Christian. He's playing awesome this year. Over 2,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, just 8 picks. Sits 23rd in the country in passing yards, 5th in the SEC. You know where he can hurt you, too, is on the ground. Got over 400 yards, 6 touchdowns. Ruben Owens, this guy's a stud at running back, sits 12th in the SEC in rushing yards, averaging over 6 yards per game as well. I believe Moss is coming back for this game as well. He's been out a while. He's a really good running back as well. And in the wide receiver room, I swear they don't get talked about enough. I think they're one of the top 3 cores in the country, up there with Alabama, Ohio State, KC Concepcion, Mario Craver, both sitting in the top 5 in the SEC in receiving yards, have 13 touchdowns between them. Bethel Roman on the outside as well. He's got 5 touchdowns as well. So like I said, this offense, man, it's really good. It's really balanced. We talked about it before. Here's the ranks on the year real quickly. A&M ranks 15th in total offense, 30th in passing offense, 25th in rushing offense, and then their I cannot talk today, 10th best in the country, averaging 38.1 points per game. So with that being said, I'll flip it over to the defense real quickly here. This is Mike Elko's strong suit, right? They're really good this year. 18th in the country in total defense, 23rd versus the pass, 27th versus the rush. And then they're 39th best in the country. They allow 21.5 points per game. So overall, across the board, man, I mean, A&M's just a damn good football team. I think anybody with a pulse at this point in the season knows that. I want to hear about Texas because they've had a more interesting year so far. So feel free and enlighten me, sir.
Up and down, Chris. Up and down with Texas. Like you said, man, started the year off with, kind of a disappointing loss on the road there to Ohio State. And just offensively took a while to find their groove. And, we'll kind of get into some of those stats here. But as of late, I think they've kind of found their stride here, right? I mean, Chris, lately they've been averaging over 35 points over their last 4 games. But here's the thing. A&M is playing, and Mike Elko, they make their bread and butter, Chris, like you said, on the defensive side of the football. The problem with this Longhorns offense, okay, they're super pass heavy. And they rank 110th in the country in running the football, Chris, and rushing offense. So if Arch Manning has a bad day, they're cooked, as the new generation would say, right? He has no Riz, 6'7", 7'6", whatever the hell it is. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Look, speaking of Manning, he's accounted for the same amount of touchdowns this year as Marcel Reed has. 31. So you wouldn't probably have guessed that on your bingo sheet looking at this year and how these teams have played. But to me, I think in big games this year, Texas has fallen flat. All right, in top 25 games this year, they've averaged 18.5 points. So I'll be curious to see how they stack up against a fired-up Aggies defense. Chris, you said it. I mean, look, is this Texas A&M defense as good as they were last year? I don't know. I mean, they've been susceptible at points. Last year, it was more of the offense not really pulling its weight. This year, defense has kind of regressed just slightly, in my opinion, but we'll see kind of what happens here. Speaking of A&M's offense, Texas ranks 39th in total defense, but Marcel Reed and Texas A&M's offense, I mean, it's a different beast. We saw what they did in the second half against South Carolina. It's almost like you have to discount the first half of how bad it was and go back and realize, dog, they still put up 30-some-odd points in the second half to win that game. So one of the most dangerous teams when they're on and they're playing well. To me, Texas needs to limit Ruben Owens and the rushing attack. Not allow Marcel Reed to scramble, hold him to under 30 points if they want to win this one, Chris. And that's just my thoughts on the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this game goes, too, I mean, do you believe, and I got a question for you real quickly, like, there's a lot of talk, I think you know where I stand on this answer, but there's a lot of talk if Texas were to pull this upset off. Do you think they should get into the playoffs at 9-3?
Well, under the current format, no. Do I think they deserve to be in the playoffs as a national brand and as an SEC team that went 9-3, hell, even 8-4? If you're part of the 2 big conferences, I would say, if you're winning 8-9 games a year, I do think you should get into the playoffs. But we've touched on this, and we'll kind of give a little opinion on this at a couple of these games this year that we're getting ready to cover, or this week, I should say. And that is, man, they need to expand the playoffs. You know what I mean? If Texas goes in and they beat A&M and they're 9-3, I mean, granted, that would be their most impressive win all year, I would say, but still, you can't discount that, I don't think. And like we said, Texas's offense as of late, I mean, they are streaking, man. I mean, you don't want to play them. Their defense has been good all year, so I don't know, man. I mean, what do you think, Chris?
No, I don't. The loss against Florida is biting them in the ass right now. Like, that's the big one, right? Because if they would win this game, they'd be sitting at 10-2, and your two losses would have been to two really good teams: Ohio State, who's number one team in the country, and Georgia, who's playing like a top 5 team in the country right now. Georgia beat the shit out of them a couple weeks ago, honestly. So, no, they don't. I mean, Texas is still a good football team. I think they've gotten better. You mentioned Arch Manning. I think he's played a lot better the past month and a half. He put up some nuclear numbers or was it last week or whatever, against Arkansas. But I mean, this A&M team though is been red hot. And I'm gonna get in my score prediction here real quickly. I here's the thing. You touched on it just quickly. Texas can't run the football. Like, they are so pass oriented. That I think A&M is just going to send everybody. They're going to be blitzing. They're going to be doing everything they can. A&M is, I believe, one of the top 3 teams in the country in sacks. They get after the quarterback, and I see that happening. I think it's going to be a long day for Arch Manning. I really do. I do think this game will be relatively close, though. I have A&M winning this game 28, Texas 17.
Almost similar sentiment there as you, Chris. I got A&M 31, Texas 24.